and go. Uh-oh. Oh no, I'm locked at this orientation. Oh, I'm accidentally streaming vertically instead of horizontally. Well, here we are. Happy Sunday. I got a late start today and I wasn't able to set this up ahead of time. So I figure it's going to take folks a little while to tune in, and that's all right. That's all right. It's Labor Day weekend. I just, didn't have my ducks in a row. Hi, Amina. I didn't have my ducks in a row in planning this streaming today. It was the first week of school. And I just kind of forgot to set it up. So, here we are. How's everyone doing? Again, I apologize that we're locked in vertical like this. That is embarrassing. I was just moving my phone around, unplugging it when they started streaming, and here we go. I just woke up too, Watson. It's noon where I am, so oopsies. How's everyone's week? I'm making some coffee because I gotta get my brain turned on. Hang on. How's everyone doing? What's going on? It's September. What? It's Labor Day weekend. Oh, Amina, I'm sorry. I know that feeling in the morning. It happens. We're all human. It's okay. I promise. Pouring some water. Send them lots of love. Take it easy. Go gentle. Go take a nap. Whatever you need. That's what I say. We gotta be gentle on ourselves always, but especially this year. Oh wow, you start teaching special ed math next week. That's so great, Chloe. How is it working where you're at? Are you going in person? Are you doing it online? How does that work wherever you are? That's really exciting. Okay, I'm brewing this coffee. What? Oh yeah, I'm streaming. Do you want to say hi?
Sure. Hi.
We're both getting late starts today.
We're gonna do what?
Late starts. Okay, I'm gonna sit down for a second. Wow, I can't believe I slept till noon. I mean, I can't. I'm going to, for a second here, share this so that people can, wow, that was weird. Oh, okay, Chloe. Cool. That sounds manageable. And that's great, Amina. I'm glad the negative feelings don't feel so intense. That's great. Hey, whatever caused it to be more manageable, great. Lean in. That's what I say. That's fabulous. Oh, how's everyone's week been? What y'all been up to? School is back in session. Again, I'm sorry that this is vertical. It's just what happened. Let's see here. I'm gonna try and share this again real quick. Let's see, create post. Live now. And then, you guys, I'm bad at technology. Share. That's fine. That's all I'll do. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're not feeling so negative, Amina. Oh, coloring, yes. What kind of coloring do you do? Okay, so you've got, excuse me. You've got another week or two before school starts. Congratulations, Chloe. That'll be great. Thanks, Hilda. How are you feeling leading up to the appointment, Chloe? Are you feeling excited, nervous? What kind of feels you got? you got going on. I know for me, I think I felt apprehensive, just like, when you're doing something new, there's all of that like those unknown feelings that kind of kick in, and we tend to fill in the blanks with the worst possible outcome. Bye. Are you gonna go to the grocery store? Are you gonna go to the grocery store?
Actually,
Okay.
it won't be for a little bit.
What?
I won't go for a little bit.
Okay. Sorry, guys. That's the kind of morning I'm having. Chloe, oh yeah, getting called out on the BS. I know that tough love can be, but it's good. It will be good. It'll be really good. I think that's a good attitude, being like, you know what, I need this, and this is an act of love, and it's an act of, it's actually quite empowering to have somebody respect you enough to treat you with honesty and to confront you with what they see happening. So maybe if you can interpret it as a sign of respect, and that you've got someone who knows you can do it and who wants you to, live a better version of your life. Oh, that's fun, Moira. I love doing those. I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm in Texas right now, and I forgot my coloring books at home in LA, and I'm very sad because I miss them. But color for me. LOL, yeah. Feeling the body change, yeah. Oh, buying new clothes, that can be really tough too. I guess a big thing I try to remember is that the problem is the clothes, not me. They're just stupid clothes, and the clothes are wrong and you're right, is, I guess, kind of, that's a bad way, not a bad way, that's an inarticulate way of framing it. I love other people's thoughts on how they move through buying new clothes and shape changing. I think one thing I try to remember, is like how to, I know that I'm going to feel better in my day if I'm wearing something that fits me well, rather than trying to like fit into something that is from a different time in my life. It will like sink my mental health, regardless of anything else that's sort of like happening in my life. So remembering that those clothes that fit you well are part of like the self-care, and part of, being in line with a life outside of the eating disorder. I'd love anybody else's thoughts on that. Happy birthday, Caroline. Yay. Yeah, Amina. Yeah, sounds like it was a good lesson. Oh, I like that, Watson. Yeah, I know, that lesson of, yep, exactly. And that's okay. I mean, to have to like get a little lesson from your body, right? Like, that's just part of it. That's part of recovery. That's part of the journey. And also, people without eating disorders do stuff like that too on accident. They'll, be running around and not have time to eat, all of a sudden get starving and have like a huge meal and then feel really full, So for us, it might be tied to eating disorder behaviors, but there's also part of that exists within being a human being, and your body knows how to manage the ups and downs, and knows how to regulate, so that's a great lesson, a great learning experience, and now you're on a new day. My teeth, I got kind of lucky, I think. My teeth didn't get too affected by my eating disorder. It might be because My front two teeth are fake because when I was little, I hit the boards ice skating and I knocked one out, and then I had to that's a whole boring dental saga. But basically they ended up, these are both, I think one's a crown and one's a veneer. Anyway, so that could be part of it, is that these two are fake, unrelated to the eating disorder, just related to clumsiness. But yeah, I didn't have too much damage, so I got lucky in that capacity. But unrelated to eating disorder, I did have braces when I was younger. Um, but I could I could probably stand to floss more. Um, yeah, Chloe, I like that. I like that. People don't care what your size is, and they can't tell. And sizes are dumb, and yeah, every store is different, everything is different, and it's kind of annoying. And yeah, ultimately wearing what makes you feel good is what, clothes and dressing is about. I like that. I like that perspective. Okay, I'm gonna pour myself some coffee. Good morning, Lishy. Coffee time. Hey, did you bring all the coffee cups downstairs?
No, there's the big one.
This big. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I know that feeling. And it'll happen. It'll happen. It'll happen. It just takes time. It takes time and, commitment to doing what, your nutritionist or your dietitian or your doctors say. It takes time, for your body to kind of re-regulate and, trust that it's going to get the nourishment that it needs consistently so that it doesn't have to keep thinking about food all the time. And for me, and I can only, speak from my own experience, it happened gradually. And to the point where I didn't even really realize that I had kind of stopped thinking about it. And that was, after I was out of treatment and had been sort of practicing my meal plan for a while and sort of then moved into intuitive eating and stuff like that. So it took me a minute. Hold on, let's see. I can move into another room.
What's up? Dude, I'm not bothering you.
No, it's okay. Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm sending love your way. I know that it's really hard and it takes a lot of time. And just know that, you're not alone and there's a way out, and it just takes time, unfortunately. At least for me, it took time. I can only speak for myself. Nil has a question, advice on what to do after a binge to feel better and not purge. I would love people's thoughts on this. The first thought that comes to my mind is it might not be possible to feel better after a binge. I mean, it might be, but if it's not, it is still possible to not purge. I think that was a big moment for me, is learning to sit with uncomfortable feelings and know that they were just feelings and that I could survive them. Doing things like stretching out the time in between the binge and when the purge would happen, like really slowing down my physiology, doing like grounding exercises, deep breathing exercises, even like laying on the floor and just doing a really slow body scan, feeling my toes all the way up through the crown of my head, but going really, really slow and just relaxing each part. Taking a shower, or just removing myself, putting space between myself and the bathroom physically. So maybe going for a car ride. Yeah, distracting yourself. I like that, Amina. You could even, no, we can't do that right now. I was going to say you could go to a movie. That doesn't really exist right now. Maybe it does. Calling a friend and asking if they'll hop on FaceTime with you. Yeah, doing something with your hands. I like that, painting or coloring. And yeah, just putting time and space because we start to have a conditioned process, right? I do this and then I do this. And if you can put space between this and this, between binge and purge, if you put space and distance and mindfulness and, some physiological changes, I think that can really be helpful. I'd love to hear from other people. This is such a big mug. It's so hot. Oof. Julia, sounds like you're struggling with this right now, and not wanting to let go of the bulimia. Yeah, I understand it as a coping mechanism. I do. I wonder, if you don't feel ready to let go of it right now, I wonder if a good thing to do in the meantime, and maybe your therapist can help you with this, is not worrying about letting it go just yet, but starting to build up different coping mechanisms to use in conjunction with it. What are some things that you can start to build up in yourself to help you process your feelings and help you exist in the world? So the focus doesn't have to be on letting go of the eating disorder just yet, but the focus can start with, what are other things that I can do to make me feel safe in the world, to make me feel in control, to make me feel emotionally taken care of? What are those things that you can build up so that when you are ready to let it go, you have already worked on these other coping mechanisms. You've already explored them, and so that they're there on your behalf. And maybe you'll realize that the bulimia, at least for me, what came with it was chaos and distraction. That you don't need that anymore. Anyone else have thoughts? It can be, it's like the devil we know, right? It can be easier to choose the behavior we know. Yeah, Chloe, I think that's right too. It's a step in the right direction when you realize it serves you. Yeah, it's all steps, it's all progress, and it's not going to be linear, and it's not going to happen overnight. And yeah, I think just acknowledging that, to be proud of yourself for having the conversation, for thinking about it, for confronting it, it's it doesn't happen overnight, right? You got to be gentle. Yeah. Taya, we've been going for 18 minutes, but I wouldn't call you late. There doesn't need to be judgment on it. I didn't even schedule this one today, so I'm impressed that anyone showed up, because I didn't have my act together. I did not have my act together. How am I doing? I'm doing good. So Julie says, I've been a week off my calorie counting app, and it's been so hard. Partner keeps asking if I feel free without it, but I feel a little bit lost and confused. Yeah, lost and confused. Yeah, I think that sounds right, because I don't know about for you, but I can imagine for me, when I was, counting, It gave me something, it gave me a very visceral way to judge how I was doing. I was doing whatever I was doing with my counting. I didn't have to think about my feelings. I didn't have to think about how my body actually felt. I didn't have to think about how my relationships were doing or how I was doing in school or work. All I based everything on was those numbers. And without those numbers, I had to start looking to other things to decide how I was doing. So I don't know if you're experiencing any of that, but that's kind of what I experienced. And I think maybe, I don't know, I would love to hear what other people say, but hi, Jacqueline. Um, to remember that even though it feels really weird now to not be counting, that you did it for years as a kid, as a baby, when you were younger. You know, our bodies actually do know how to do it. They do know what we need and give us cues to tell us what we need. And so while it might feel really new to not be monitoring it, to not be checking your body all the time, your body actually knows how to do this. It's an expert at doing this. And so you're sort of stepping out of the way so that your body can kind of do it for you. Does anyone else have suggestions for letting go of counting and of monitoring yourself? Yeah. Practicing some radical trust in your body's abilities. You know, if you get cut, it'll heal. You don't have to like monitor, right? You don't have to like check in. Okay, this cut is 80% scabbed over today. You know, we let our bodies do their thing. We let our bodies heal themselves. The same goes for food and nourishment. But I understand that it's a radical step. Trust is pretty radical when I'm feeling non-committed and, you know, like I don't want to be in recovery. I like to just imagine that I'm doing something really radical and like revolutionary. And I'm, you know, being pretty punk rock because I'm not trying to control everything, and I'm actively trying to dismantle the diet culture within myself, and that's like a radical punk rock thing to do. So that's things that kind of help motivate me. It's so hard to fathom that people can completely get over their behaviors and rituals completely, says UWU. Yeah, I know that feeling. And I remember when I started treatment, I just really legitimately thought there would be no time in my life where I wasn't completely consumed with food and with the eating disorder. And I exist so deeply in that brain space. And my body exists so incredibly in that cycle that I had a really hard time imagining any other way. But I found that if I, you know, committed myself to the process, that my brain would find a different way to exist, you know. Oh, that's a great tool, Amina. And I mean, maybe try not to worry so much about letting it go completely and think about it in stages. You know, if 90% of your brain is occupied with your eating disorder, what would it be like for it to only be 80% or 70%? Because for me, it kind of came back slowly and, you know, gradually. And I just kind of had to let it happen and let my brain kind of reprogram. And I'll also say this, we're so inundated with diet culture and fat phobia and white supremacy in this world that for us to never think about our shape impacting our value again isn't really realistic, right? Everybody has to confront diet culture. Everybody has to confronted, even if they don't have an eating disorder. It comes into our minds. It's in our advertising. It's in our cultural conversations. It's everywhere. And so, you know, there's a certain part of it that we're always going to have to kind of be mindful of. And that doesn't mean we're failing our recovery. That just means we're existing in a world that is set up to keep us, you know, hating ourselves, and putting our incredible brain power into something that doesn't actually matter, and into something that, you know, sucks us dry. Oh, hi, Miles. I love your suggestions. Chicken wings, I'm so happy to hear that. Yay. Ugh, enjoy the seaside. Yes, I love it. This is a mug that my stepmom sent me from New Orleans. It's freaking massive. What did I missed some things here. Let's see. Oh, I loved Billie Eilish's short film. Thank you, Carly, for sending it my way. She's so cool. She's a very cool young woman. I lost my train of thought. I'm just waking up. Yeah. September, Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend, I guess, can kind of be a little triggering sometimes. This year's different, with people not getting together as much. Oh, I'm sorry, Taya. You're not being heard by your mom. She just took. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. You did a really brave thing by approaching your mom, and for her to not be able to receive that is a really big disappointment. So first of all, kudos to you for having the strength to say that and to ask for something that you need. And I'm really sorry that you're not getting it from your mom. I wonder if there is anyone else in your life who could be a support for you, perhaps an aunt or a family member or a teacher at school if you're school aged, or if not anything like that. There are some great resources, and we have them up on the HLG like community page, where there are support groups, weekly support groups, daily support groups online that you can go to. And I haven't been to all of them. I facilitate one through Project Heal, but I know when I was in treatment, or even before I was in treatment, but like support groups were a really helpful tool for me, because I really felt like I was not alone when I would be interacting with other people. And, you know, us folks who struggle with eating disorders tend to be, I say this a lot, and I really mean it, tend to be incredibly dynamic, interesting, smart people. And often, as we see on this feed every week, provide such incredible insight. Support groups online can be a great way to start getting some of those tools and maybe connect you to other resources. I'm really sorry that you weren't seen. It's, you know, it's really, really not fair. Julia, oh, I'm sorry. It sounds like you're really, really hurting. You said you were in therapy. Does your therapist know about the impulse to self-harm? You know, that's something that pings for me, where I really want you to get support and, you know, feel safe with yourself. It's a really scary, big feeling. And I'm not, you know, a professional. I'm just someone who is rooting for you. And I really hope that, you know, okay, she does know, that's good. I hope that you can, you know, get some relief and support for that, because that's a really tough thing to be carrying. Carly says a big part of her recovery was accepting, or their recovery was accepting that their parents would never be the parents that I needed. That's really tough, but I think there's something really empowering in your words, Carly. That not everyone is going to show up the way that we need them to show up in our lives, and it sucks. And there's some power in seeing that and accepting it and trying not to take it personally. You know, it's not about you that your parent can't hold your eating disorder, can't give you what you need. That's not about you, that's about them. It's not about your worth, it's not about your value, it's about their capacity to be there and to show up. And unfortunately, parents are not perfect, and they often, you know, can't be what we need. They can't be what we need all the time. And I have so much compassion that your mom isn't able to meet you there, but I wonder if, yeah, letting go of expectations for her to be there, and to find others to kind of take that place. Yeah, that is frustrating, Carly. It absolutely is. Oh, Chloe, I'm glad that you love your support group friends. Yay, that's great. Taya, yeah, you know, I think it's probably likely that there is some home dynamics that probably contribute to the eating disorder. And you deserve support and compassion as you sort of sift through those feelings and look at those relationships and how they may have formed you, you know. I'm no therapist, but our relationships are really formative, you know. Yeah, yeah. Could be, could be. Lishy. I wonder if there's a way to find some more honesty in your relationship with your therapist. Even if it was maybe writing her a note and handing it to him or her or them at the beginning of the session and saying to them, I have some thoughts that I'm having trouble articulating. I thought I would write a letter to you, because sometimes it can be hard to say those things out loud. Yeah, I love that, Carly. Love that suggestion. Yeah. Sometimes, even not even in like therapy, wellness work that I do in my like real life in my work, sometimes I'll just pull the trigger on something that I'm scared of. I'll just like try not to think about it. I'll just do it. And all of a sudden, okay, I have to do it. I kind of did that with these writing classes I've been teaching. I had a lot of imposter syndrome around teaching them. So I just, before I could talk myself out of it, I just posted it. I just put it up online and I was like, okay, now I have to do it. Yeah, Watson, that's a great point. It's a really great point. That's tough, Julia. That's really tough. Being around body, focus on wellness culture, which we know can be very toxic. That sounds incredibly challenging, incredibly challenging. I'm sending a lot of compassion and strength as you untangle from that, because that's a lot. That's a lot to be tangled up in. That's tough. It's really, really tough. Tay, I would have a hunch that most people can relate to those feelings. Carly, I would say a hard yes on that. I would say it's very fat phobic. Yeah, yeah. I I think it is fat phobic. Your friend might not realize that that's what's happening, because there's so much diet culture everywhere and fat phobia everywhere that it's really hard to detangle it sometimes. But I know it is hard to explain. Does anyone have good resources for teaching about fat phobia and diet culture? There's a book I started reading called, oh shoot, what is it called? Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. Fearing the Black Body, that looks at how white supremacy is mixed into fat phobia and diet culture. It's a dense read, like it's an intense read, but it's really interesting and horrifying. Interesting is the wrong word. It's like, oh my God, this world is sick, sick, sick place. Yeah, it can be hard to open people's eyes to the way diet culture and fat phobia put a lens onto everything we see. Um, yes, babies are heroes. They are intuitive eating heroes. Let's all be more like babies. um, yeah, shape has nothing to do with health at all, you know. And I'm not an expert on this, but I've read studies and talked to experts on this. Anti-Diet is a great book, but shape has nothing to do with health. We can be healthy at any size and unhealthy at any size. And it is a product of capitalism and a $1 trillion wellness industry to shame people in larger bodies into participating in this economic system of oppression, and also people in smaller bodies to terrify them because of the way we treat people in larger bodies in this country. And I'm going to be ineloquent in the way I talk about it, but it does get me like riled up and mad. Oh, cool. I've never heard the book Body of Truth, but that sounds like an interesting one. Yeah, diets don't work. They don't work. Yes, Amina, I relate to that. I know I've used it as a tool so that I didn't have to think about other stresses, because if I was in chaos with my eating disorder, I didn't have to think about school and work and relationships. And absolutely, yes, yep, I feel you on that. I feel you. Yeah, and Tia, I feel you on the safe clothes too. Yeah, yeah. You know, Alicia, I don't think it's out. It's called Fatitude, and it really opened my eyes. So if I look at Fatitude, the movie, okay, oh, buy now. It's now available for educational purpose. Oh, it's very expensive. Shoot. It's $400. I would buy it if it was like 30 or less, but this is for universities, colleges. Okay, so pre-K, community college. I wonder if there's a way we could resources and links. Let's see. It's an incredible documentary. I wonder why they haven't released it. I wonder what they're doing. I'm sure they have a strategy on why they haven't released it. You can host a virtual screening. Let's see here. Maybe I should just email them, because it was an incredible I saw it at a screening at a film festival in Los Angeles. I can't even remember how I ended up there, how I found out about it. I wonder, I mean, it really like blew my mind, to be honest. Maybe I'll email them and see what their plan is and if they're going to do a wide release at any point, because it's really great. Yeah, we could do a virtual screening. Maybe I'll email them and see if I could host one, perhaps. Cool. I'll email them and see if we can do like maybe like a binge virtual screening of it. I think that's a really good idea. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I just remember being like blown away by it. And I felt really like lied to by the medical industry. I felt like quite furious, which I feel like is the appropriate way to feel. I just realized that it's 12:40 and I actually have to run and go teach. This has been a lovely conversation with you all. I wish I could stay on a little bit longer, but I'll be back next Sunday for Sunday support at the same time, and I'm going to put the link up ahead of time this time. I'm going to get my shit together. And I'm going to email these filmmakers and see if we could maybe host a screening under the Binge umbrella, because I think it would be a really cool opportunity. Okay, so what are we going to practice 5% more of this week? What do we need this week? Dewey says hello. Dewey! 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 Ugh, he's not coming. Oh, here he is. Oh, come here, baby. 1 second. Come say hi. Come say hi. Oh. There he is. There's the little mister. Let's practice 5% more being more like babies who intuitive eat and they eat until they're full and they eat when they're hungry and all of that. So do dogs. Well, this dog would eat constantly if we allowed him to, so maybe that's not a good comparison. He's a crazy dog. He's a good boy. Okay, we'll see you next week. Bye. Again, sorry this is vertical. Mwah, mwah, mwah.